2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 20th of October, and it's International Chef Day. And a big happy birthday to Kamala Harris, Danny Boyle, Snoop Dogg, and Danny Minogue. As the clock ticks down towards the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow, which kicks off on Sunday the 31st of October, the government spent most of Tuesday working hard to sell their new net zero climate strategy. It started with Boris addressing the Global Investment Summit and announcing a £400 million package alongside Bill Gates to boost the development of new green technologies.
People know that we have the technological solutions to these problems and they want to go green. And they know that we'll be able one day to bring down the prices of green technology in a way that we so rapidly made microwaves and mobile phones affordable. To adapt Gordon Gekko, green is good, green is right. Green works.
Energy Minister Greg Hands told the Commons that the new net zero strategy, which seeks to reduce carbon emissions to zero by 2050, will lead to new jobs.
The strategy will support up to 440,000 jobs across sectors and across all parts of the UK in 2030.
There was also an announcement of a new grant of £5,000 towards the cost of replacing gas boilers with low-carbon heat pumps. But Green Party MP Caroline Lucas says the maths just don't add up.
We know that heat pumps are only going to work well if your home is insulated, and there simply isn't enough money in this package to properly insulate homes either. When you start to look at some of the details, there's simply not there.
There were 43,738 new cases of COVID-19 and 223 additional deaths yesterday, the biggest daily number since early March. And with cases at a new high, there's growing concern that those who've had COVID but aren't vaccinated are likely to get COVID at least every 16 months as their natural immunity wanes. And while there's still no official plan to tackle the surge, the government says it's keeping a very close eye on new mutations of the Delta variant. All of this means that the government needs to act and implement more distancing and mitigation measures, according to Imperial College London's Professor Azim Majid, who spoke to Channel 4 News.
The more cases we have in the UK, the more chance there is, therefore, people will get a serious illness despite being vaccinated. So it's very important to get the case numbers down using other measures other than vaccination as well, such as face masks, and being careful with large indoor gatherings as well. So I think we need to act now, before things get out of control.
Labour's Shadow Health Secretary Jonathan Ashworth called on Sajid Javid to get on top of the looming crisis before it's too late.
Surely he must be concerned that yesterday we recorded close to 50,000 infections. The booster programme is stalling, with charities describing it as a chaotic failure. His wall of defence is falling down. So can I suggest he ditches the complacency and fixes the vaccination programme now?
The Duchess of Cambridge launched a new campaign yesterday in her role as patron of the Forward Trust. The campaign's called Taking Action on Addiction, and it's intended to highlight the devastating impact of the pandemic on addiction rates. Ant and Dec were there to meet her as she arrived to speak at the launch, and Ant chatted about his own struggles and how hard it was to ask for help.
By the time I asked for help, it was bad. But then as soon as you opened up to people, problems started to disappear, and it gets better.
She also spoke about the importance of removing the taboo around addiction.
Addiction is not a choice. No one chooses to become an addict, but it can happen to any one of us. None of us are immune. As a society, we need to start from a position of compassion and empathy.
A new independent inquiry into child sex abuse in Leicestershire has found that police investigations into former MP Lord Jannet were marred by a series of failings. It also criticised Leicestershire's County Council for a sorry record of failures over the abuse. Lord Jannet died in 2015 and he always denied the abuse claims. Lawyer for 13 of the victims, Liam Goggin, hopes that at least the report can bring some closure to the victims.
The children that were involved were in care at the time, which brings with it its own challenges. They've been listened to as part of the inquiry. Historically, they weren't, and hopefully this report gives them some closure and makes them feel like they've been listened to and that lessons have been learned and that the inquiry has been worthwhile, really.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Lenny Henry's got himself a new do, and Salma Hayek talks diversity. Right after this.
You're listening to The Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform. The Men's Champions League was back last night with 8 games in total. Both Liverpool and Man City were on the road. But it didn't seem to trouble City as they comfortably won 5-1 against Belgian side Club Brugge. Liverpool had a tougher challenge ahead against Atletico Madrid. It was 2-2 at half-time, but the second half saw a red card for Atletico and a penalty for Liverpool that Mo Salah calmly scored to give them a 3-2 win to the delight of manager Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah, it was a tough game. Come on. Honestly, how you win it, I couldn't care less, to be honest. The dirty ones are the really important ones. When we are flying, we win the games anyway, but on a night like this, getting 3 points is really massive.
So Lenny Henry may well be the world's busiest man. He's an actor about to be in Amazon's Lord of the Rings show. He was the Blob in The Masked Singer. He's an activist and he's just published his first children's book, The Boy with Wings. He took a few minutes out to talk to Nihal about his new dreadlock look for the Headliner podcast. Apparently, it's for a new acting role.
I mean, I've had a lot of comments about it. People really seem to like it. To me, it feels like there's a small toddler clinging to my scalp 24/7. And we had to cut some locks out because it was so heavy. It was pulling my head back like this. But it's a look and a half, I'll have to say.
Yeah, it's a vibe. I mean,
I don't even know how Bob Marley used to stand up. These are so heavy.
There's a new Marvel movie on the way and it's going to be something quite different. For a start, it's written and directed by Oscar-winning Chloe Zhao, who picked up Best Picture and Best Director for Nomadland. This movie's called Eternals and it has a stellar cast including Angelina Jolie, Barry Keoghan, Kit Harington, Salma Hayek and many, many more. Salma's delighted to be part of the MCU in what looks like the most diverse superhero movie so far. It hits cinemas on November the 5th.
I never thought I would be a Mexican superhero in my 50s. That used to be a man. Because it's not about your sexuality, where you come from. It's about diversity. It goes further than that. It's the things that are special about you.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.